let's talk about hyperfixations, because I think people have a misunderstanding of it and what it means to be hyperfixated on something. And when I say people, I mostly mean just like neurotypical people who think that them having hobbies or interests means that they're hyperfixated on it. One of the worst side effects of TikTok has been people self-diagnosing themselves or misusing actual symptoms in symptomatic terms to describe things that they're not diagnosed with. And a lot of terms that are related to neurodiversity have been co-opted now. People are just throwing them around to describe anything. We've seen it with like overstimulation, going nonverbal. That's got to be my least favorite one. You're not going nonverbal. You're being quiet. You're just shutting up. Hyperfixation, all those kinds of words have been, what's the word I'm looking for? Appropriated? Somewhat appropriated, co-opted. And basically people don't actually know what those words mean anymore. They're just using them without looking up the actual meaning of it. But specifically I want to talk about hyperfixation because that is something that I suffer from. And I say suffer from because it's kind of a curse. There was this trend called like nerd out, if you remember that. And I don't like to make fun of people who fit into the more mainstream kind of hobbies and stuff, but they were doing these nerd out trends with things that like, no, you can't nerd out about Starbucks. That's not a thing. There's nothing nerdy about Starbucks. And they were using the term nerd out to just kind of be like, oh, there's this thing that I'm obsessed with, except it was like so blatantly obvious when it's like, you just like these things. You're not a nerd about these things, you just like them. And most of the things were just like completely normal things that people like going to Target or drinking coffee or liking Taco Bell. Like those aren't things that you nerd out about. Those are things you consume. Everyone likes to eat, everyone likes to drink, everyone likes to shop. I think that's when I was like, oh, some people actually don't know the difference between liking something and being obsessed with something. And I unfortunately am very black and white with most of my interests, so I have to obsess over it if I like it, because if I'm not obsessing over it, I'm bored and I've moved on and I've forgotten about it completely. I'm a very out of sight, out of mind person. So it's like sometimes I'll be super invested in something and then the second that my attention goes towards a different thing, I've completely forgotten about the other thing. The speed at which I flip-flop between my interests, I think, is what is a key factor in me knowing it's a hyperfixation. Because the intensity of which I like something for such a short period of time and then a week later, I never mention it again, like, it's scary. I don't think normal people do that. We've missed like a key part in recognizing that hyperfixations and special interests are supposed to be like weird and not cool. Like they're supposed to be something strange and odd because the only function that they serve is they make you excited and they make you happy. Your hyperfixation cannot be your job. That's something you have to do. That's something you do to get money. So I want it to be really raw and real and give some examples of my hyperfixations that are considered embarrassing, so you guys can see what a real hashtag freak looks like. And I don't think I'm not doing this to shame anybody who has interests that are more mainstream or more popular. I'm just doing this to remind people that like the actual people who are out there who have hyperfixations and they have special interests, they're not always going to be palatable. They're not always going to be things that everyone else understands and gets, and more often than not, these are the people that are going to be subject to bullying or online harassment, because people will be like, why the fuck do you think that this is interesting? This is so strange. And it's like, I need to remind you guys that it's like, before 2015, having like ADHD and autism was not cool. It was not something that people wanted to LARP on TikTok about. It was considered weird. Like, these are the weird kids in class that you would make fun of. And having to like constantly remind people that, be like, no, there's still people out there that like these things. They're just not vocal about it as much because they know they'll get bullied for it. And I think TikTok has done irreparable damage to people's mental health. solely because nobody can like anything anymore without being made fun of. So if you want to hashtag really nerd out, you need to start liking things that are considered embarrassing and weird. So first one I want to talk about is near and dear to my heart, and I'm like being so serious about this. People in my life know I'm serious about it because it's like actually humiliating how often I will try to bring this up and talk about this, is the Fred movies. Like, I'm fully serious when I say that, like, I love that movie. Yes, I have watched that Quentin Reviews, like, 9-hour long video about the Fred series. I'm on the hunt to own it on DVD. I have such a weird, like, passion for that movie. I was not interested in Fred growing up, like, as a kid. I didn't watch him on YouTube until after the movie came out, and even then, like, I wouldn't really care about his like videos. I just loved the movie. I just thought the movie was so funny, and I think it's like genuinely an underrated like piece of media. Like, I think it actually is hilarious. And I have so many thoughts on it that like anytime something slightly relevant comes up, I'm like, I have to bring this up. Did you know that Fred the movie references Gummo? Next. I get really obsessed with like mobile games for short periods of time. Usually it's like 3 weeks max. But my longest running one so far has been Little Alchemy 2. This year I got really obsessed with it and like trying to beat the game by making the whole like 720 objects or something like that. It's a game where you just like mash two things together and it creates another thing, so you have to like mix and match things to unlock all of the things. And I like became obsessed with it. This is a game that's like meant for children. It's really not that interesting of a game. It's, most people consider it boring and repetitive, but I think that's why I like got hooked onto it, because it has just that appeal to it where I'm just dragging and dropping back and forth, and I got so fixated on it and so set on the goal that I was going to unlock everything by the end of the school year. And I did not manage to do that because there were some paid features in there that I was not willing to pay for. But yeah, I would grind the fuck out of that game hours at a time. Hours. And most people would be like, that's ridiculous. What do you mean you got home from work and you sat down in front of your Chromebook and you continued to play the game for 4 hours straight? I just would. Like, I can't, it wasn't even like a thing anymore where I was having fun playing it. I was just playing it because I had to. It was like a compulsion for me to do it. Another thing is I get like in cycles of liking certain foods and eating it so much that I get sick of it, and then I stop eating it for like months at a time, and then the cycle continues. I've done that with yogurt, done that with cereal, scrambled eggs, like just random stuff like that where all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, this is the best food ever. And then I won't stop eating it until I'm actually physically ill from it. In college, I had to stop buying the family size peanut M&Ms because I couldn't control myself, and I would eat them all in one sitting until my stomach hurt. I also did that with trail mix. I was really into like the indulgent trail mix bags. Like, I got really interested in like trying a new flavor each week. But I would just eat it constantly. Like, I could not keep my hand out of that bag. So I had to cut back on it. I was like, no more, no more. One of my all-time go-to safe foods is crackers, cheese, pepperoni with a side of grapes. That is like my elite combo. I feel like Remy in Ratatouille, when he's like biting into it and he's having synesthesia and he's seeing the colors, like that's legitimately how I feel when I have that combo. And when I get into these kicks of like only eating that, I don't have the stomach for anything else. Like, it's been about like 3 or 4 days of me like back on this routine of eating it that now it's like lunchtime rolls around and I don't want anything else to eat except for that. So I will sit there with the whole plate of it and I will just go to town. I got really into marble run videos at one point, because I would like be on YouTube watching like satisfying videos or ASMR or something like that to like relax, and it would show those like marble race videos. And at the beginning, it like asked you to like pick a color and you like bet on which one you think is gonna win the race, right? I got so into it that like I started keeping track of like my bets and my scores in my notes app. So like every day I would come back and I'd be like, how many bets did I win? Yeah. Sometimes I hate something so much that it almost like Uno reverses, and ends up being something that I'm like interested in and something that I like. And that kind of happens with like any media that I kind of find annoying at first. And then when I actually get into it, I'm like, oh, I actually do enjoy this. I actually do enjoy this. I guess it's okay. But it will still piss me off to no end that I have to endlessly criticize it, just so that people are aware that I don't actually like it, but I am going to consume it still. I think one of the biggest examples of this is I have like this really weird fixation on like the Wilbur Soot drama. I don't like that man. I wasn't a fan of DSMP. Like, I have no ties to it. I am just so nosy and in other people's business that whenever the Twitter discourse would like start up and they would start fighting, like I'm there. I'm looking through your windows. I'm looking into your house. Like, I need to be a part of it. So it's one of those things that's like I keep tabs on people I hate so that I can like hate watch from a distance, but also because I just think it's so fascinating, so interesting. And I think a part of me just knows that like if I was 14 in the year 2020, that would be me. I would be on Wilbur Soot Twitter fighting for my life and doxing people. Like, something about it. Like, I don't know, it's like looking into an alternate reality where that was me. It's so strange. Need to clarify, I do hate that man. I don't listen to his music. I don't watch anything of his. I only watch his fans, which is sounds crazy saying, but I only watch his fans fight for their life supporting him still to this day. I would say my favorite band and artist kind of switch quite frequently. I will go through periods where I'm only listening to one artist at a time because I can't focus on anything else. So I'm like, no, I only have to listen to this one. I can't even consume content from anybody else yet. I start random creative projects that take up all of my attention for like 3 days and I can't do anything else or get anything else done. And it can be really frustrating because sometimes the end goal of these creative projects is like nothing. Like I recently, I say recently, but it was like a few months ago, I got super into making PowerPoint presentations about just like things that I like. I don't really know. And the goal was to never really like do anything with them. I wasn't gonna like present them or show them to anybody. I just wanted to make them. I think I was just like really interested in the Canva features and I wanted to try them out and I wanted to make a PowerPoint. I don't fucking know. I don't know what my thought process was there, but like I would just sit there for hours on my computer making them. To the point where it's like, you know, you're on FaceTime with somebody and they're like, can you contribute to the conversation? I'm like, I'm sorry, I gotta finish this. And I don't have to finish it. I can't do anything else until it's done. And then one day, like mid-session, I'll just snap out of it and I'm like, this is boring. I don't want to do this anymore. And I'll move on and I'll never touch it again. Like, those PowerPoints are not done and they're not going to get done unless I suddenly get that urge to finish them again. And I do that with a lot of different crafting projects, like just a bunch of unfinished paintings in books that I'm writing, drawings. Like, I just don't finish anything ever. The amount of times I've tried to like start up journaling again, humiliating. Like, everything is unfinished because it'll take up all of my energy and brain power to get out as much as possible. And then I like burn myself out doing it, that I need to step back and take a break from it. And then I don't want to initiate doing the task again, so it just doesn't get done. It just doesn't ever get finished. And that can kind of be both a bad thing and a good thing, because sometimes, since I know that that's how I function, I'd rather just get things done in one sitting. It's easy for me to just bang out like finishing a book in 1 day, in 2 days, in 3 days, because if I can dedicate 5 hours of focus time to it, then it'll be finished and it'll be done. It's easier for me to do that than to try to space things out and be like, oh, I'll just do a little bit every day, because the chances are I don't want to do a little bit every day. Every day I'm fighting for my life. Every day I'm fighting invisible battles. The chances of me being like, yeah, I can set aside 30 minutes to read, no, because there's something else I probably want to do more that is going to prevent me from sitting down and reading. It's a lot easier for me to just finish it if I'm already started it, like just plow through. There'll be a point in my hyperfixation that after the early stages of it being new and novel and exciting, it starts being mundane and just ingrained into your routine. And like, I no longer enjoy doing it. It doesn't give me joy or satisfaction, but I like just feel like I have to do it. Just to do it, especially if there's something where I'm like, I should complete it or I need to make progress on it. Like, I just simply do it because it's what I've been doing for like days or weeks now. And I think it's really frustrating also when I am super invested in something and then all of a sudden the switch turns off and like I try my best to like keep being interested in it and it's just not clicking. The spark isn't there anymore. I've lost my interest. I feel it fading. Like, that's very disappointing for me, especially when I like invest monetary value into it, like collecting things, like all of a sudden waking up and being like, the music's not hitting anymore, this doesn't interest me anymore, and I spent so much money on collecting stuff for this one thing, buying merchandise for this one thing that I don't care about anymore. Like, it's disappointing. It feels bad, especially since sometimes I have good memories tied to things that I was obsessed with at that time, and not being obsessed with it anymore feels like I'm letting go of a part of myself that was shaped by that. So, you know, I get very melodramatic about it too. I also just think it's frustrating that some of my timing tends to be off with things. Like, K-pop has a comeback like every month or whatever, and I don't keep up with all of them. So sometimes it takes me a while to like listen to a song or a release. But even when I do, sometimes on that initial listen, like it's not hitting for me, whatever. Or I've known a group for years. I've been aware of their presence and I've just never been interested, never been tapped in. And then all of a sudden, the music will start hitting and I'll be like, holy shit, I should have started listening to them earlier. And I get so frustrated and mad with myself because it's not for lack of trying. It's just sometimes it doesn't hit. Sometimes it's like I'm too obsessed with something else to even consider anything else. And I wish I could just like go back in time and been like, hey, you would love this thing. You should start loving this thing. Please start loving this thing. And that's why I get really into like groups that are already disbanded and have been over for a long time. It's like, wow, what's the point in you getting into them? Like, really badly, I've been considering like collecting Preston albums. They haven't been a group in years. They haven't been a group in years. And they're never gonna be a group again, probably. So why am I considering buying some of those albums? I don't know. Because I randomly like shuffled my music and Wee Woo came on and I was like, wait a minute, this is so good, and I get re-obsessed with them, and then I go back and I watch all of their old content and I am like, I have to get back into them. For what? They don't make music anymore. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's also frustrating being an adult and having interests that are kind of made for children. Like, not gonna lie, that's a little bit annoying and hard, especially when you don't have anybody your age who likes the thing that you like, so you have nobody to talk to about it. Which is why I think a lot of these people tend to congregate online. A lot of neurodivergent people tend to find their community in online spaces, but that also means that these same adults are in the same community with literal children who also like the same media, and they're arguing back and forth. So that's humiliating. And I'm somewhere watching that fight happen and giggling. So just be warned that I will be there. You can't see me, but I will be there. A lot of my self-regulation depends on how much time I get to be alone and engaging with my interests. You know, as soon as I can get home from work, it's me time. I'm clocking in to the YouTube factory where I'm watching things that make me happy. I'm consuming content by creators and by artists that I like, and it gives me that time to be in my own little world with the things that I love, right? Except if that time gets interrupted or it gets postponed too many times, I become so irritable. And now I'm an adult and I'm a self-aware adult and I've like been to therapy, so I'm able to have other coping mechanisms and stuff like that. So I won't completely freak the fuck out if my time gets interrupted. But it's still like kind of annoying how irritable I get. And how like rage inducing it is to be like, I don't have time to do the one thing I want to do. Especially when I know that one thing is like irrational. Like, yes, girl, you have to go to work. You can't stay home and fucking watch Luna music videos all day. You have to go to work. You have a job. That's annoying sometimes to like have to talk yourself down and to like be realistic, because it's almost like I have this like monkey part of my brain that's like only pleasure seeking and only wants to engage with things that make me happy and make me comfortable. And it's hard to explain that to people who don't experience that, because they think I'm being childish or they think I'm being like a fucking loser about it when I say that like, hey, my dream is to be unemployed and to only engage with things that I like. Because that sounds insane and that's not realistic. That's not how life works. And I'm well aware of that. I don't need anybody to tell me that that's not the real world and that that's not how things work. Like, I know. I'm well aware. But that's one of the things I use to motivate me to get through the day and to continue showing up to work on time, is that I go to work so that I can have money so I can buy things related to my interest. That's like the only way that I'm able to afford to live the life that I want. And that's why I feel like sometimes I live in a completely different world than like other people, or specifically like neurotypical people, where I'm like, I wonder what they do when they get home, because they surely don't sit in front of their computer and play Little Alchemy 2 for 5 hours. Surely that's not what they do. I also think it's important to mention that hyperfixations can like get so obsessive and bad that it gets in the way of doing normal and healthy things, like for example eating or going to the bathroom or socializing or going to work. The amount of times that I've liked something so much that I'm like, I should just quit my job so I can focus on this. Girl, what? I was like really into this mobile game, Cake Sort. Was it Cake Sort? I don't know, but it was like pieces of a cake and you'd have to like fix them so that all the same pieces of the cake could form a full cake. Whatever. So I was really into that game at one point and I would play it all the time when I was at work. And one time they like called me into the office and I got so fucking scared because I thought that they like caught me playing it on the security cameras and like saw that I was at least clocking in like 3 hours of playtime on my phone playing this stupid fucking Cake Sort game, and they were gonna yell at me. They ended up just transferring me, like it wasn't actually anything about Cake Sort, but I got so scared. I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna lose my job due to Cake Sort. Sometimes I will be so invested in something that I will avoid making plans or secretly hope that plans get canceled so that I can spend more time doing the thing that I actually want to do. If I'm really focused on something, I'm not getting up to eat or to go to the bathroom. I'll hold it. I'll wait. I don't care. Like, I'm in that flow state. I just need to do this one thing. Everything else comes later. I need to be focused on this right now. And I found that kind of trying to use my hyperfixation as a reward doesn't really work for me. Like, the easiest way for me to kind of get over a hyperfixation is to get it out of my system and just like do it and engage with it while it's still, you know, motivating enough. Because I know that like soon enough it'll pass. If I get it out of my system, I'll move on to something else. Like, there was a period of time where after work every day, I would come home, sit in my bed, listen to ASMR, and play Stardew Valley. And I did this for like 3 months straight. I think it was like during the entirety of the winter months. Like, that was my routine, was come home from work and the first thing I do, go onto my farm, listen to ASMR. Like, that's all I would do. And I'd do that up until dinner time, because that was like a natural break where it's like, okay, dinner time, I can close my laptop, eat my dinner, and then I could do whatever the fuck else I needed to do that night. But if I would try to push that off and get myself to do things before playing Stardew Valley, couldn't be motivated, couldn't care less. Like, I actually could not physically get myself to do anything. Like, I would be like, I need to fold my laundry first and then I can play Stardew Valley. No, my brain would just go, guess we're not playing Stardew Valley today, and we would just, and I wouldn't do anything. Like, I just wouldn't, it wouldn't get done. Whereas if I would play Stardew Valley after like an hour, 2, 3, I'd be like, okay, I've had my fix now. I can function and be normal. I'm gonna close my laptop and fold that laundry now. And it would get done. So I kind of just learned to stop resisting it as much, because my brain will find any and all loopholes to not do something. Thank you for watching. If you've watched until the end, please let me know something really fun and exciting that you've been obsessed with lately. Doesn't have to be a hyperfixation, it could just be something that you've been really enjoying. Okay, bye.